Okay. All right. Thanks. What are you doing? Stop. That was the studio publicist. So, got good news and bad news about the Peter Pan video.
Okay, give me the good news.
Well, the good news is we can interview Kathryn Beaumont. She voiced Wendy in the film, and she's fantastic.
Okay, what's the bad news?
Well, they're at the Animation Research Library. We'd have to be there in like 2 minutes. It's in Glendale, which is about 30 miles from here, which according to this LA traffic app is about 17 hours. So, guess we're gonna have to pass.
You know what? I have an idea.
You think?
I work.
Where to, gentlemen?
Glendale? Here's the address.
I think we can do that. Think of a wonderful thought.
Any happy little thought? Shh. Think.
Hey guys, did you have any trouble finding us?
Oddly, no.
Ryan, you know Kathryn Beaumont, don't you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Nice to see you, Ryan. Ooh, a little pixie dust there.
That's embarrassing. This place is incredible.
Thank you. This is the Animation Research Library, and we house all the animation art going back to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Plain Crazy, Steamboat Willie. It's a wonderful place. We're pulling some amazing artwork for you to look at today.
That's fantastic.
But in the meantime, we've got some photographs for you to look at of
Okay, great.
Kathryn, and I think these will bring back some wonderful memories.
Looks like, yes.
And then I'll come get you when we're ready. But
Okay.
first,
Oh,
So formal.
right.
Absolutely, no problem. Well, thank you, Lela. That's great.
Precious.
enjoy.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, thank you.
So first of all, how cool is this place?
This is a wonderful place.
Yeah, this is going to be like a trip down memory lane for you.
I know.
And probably
Very much so.
our first conversation ever in
And
white
in
gloves,
this lovely
which is
conference. Yes,
which
in the
is
white gloves.
fun. So this is some really early art from well before you came onto the film. You can really see how these characters came together. I think what's interesting too is that back then it wasn't just voice acting. You also really affected kind of the look of these characters. And so
Yes.
as we look and see how these characters have evolved, you may see a little of yourself in Wendy in a pose.
Well, I remember at the time, friends and family would say, "Oh my God, when I watch the character, I can see you." And I didn't really see that as much myself because it was just, me. But they did notice. The artists, of course, needed to draw the human person, but to make them appear more realistic. And that was a hard challenge. So they liked to have the modeling, which meant that we would really act out the whole scene. And then it was filmed. Then when they could watch on the moviola, they had a little moviola in the office, and they'd watch and then get the feel of what the body was doing when it was moving, so that they could then draw from that. So it gave them the inspiration, and it also made the characters, the human characters, more realistic.
Lela actually pulled some great photographs for us of your live-action modeling work.
my
Bring back some
goodness.
memories for you. So look at this shot.
Yes.
What was happening here?
Well, in this one, it was at the end of the story, and Wendy turned and looked through the window and realized the ship was floating by, and she was trying to tell the others. So that was that scene. Oh my God, I have to see the other ones.
How old were you in working on this scene?
Well, it was towards the end of the shooting, so
Okay.
I was close to 14. 14, I think, yes. Oh, there's Michael. Oh, that is so neat. I think what was happening in that scene was when the pixie dust was dropped on everybody,
Right.
and everyone was floating in the air, and he was coming towards me. So they had the director holding him so that the artist would see the movement of reaching forward and then coming to grab him. And another interesting part to that is that that's Ham Lusk, the director, and that's his son.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that was his son who did that little part.
Now I have to ask, you were talking about all the different movements the artist wanted to study, but of course this film involves some flying.
Yes.
So what was that
Oh,
like?
yes.
How did you act out flying?
Well, I suppose most children would think, oh, what fun, you know, be hoisted up with a wire and we could just swing back and forth and enjoy. I was afraid of height.
Oh no.
And you know, I had this sense every time I saw or was in an area where it was a sheer drop. I mean, I can remember being at Glacier Park and looking over the edge and, oh my God, it was so far down. Anyway, I had a little problem with that. So the young man who was Peter Pan was a dancer, Roland Dupre. And he said, oh, this isn't going to be a problem. He says, here's what we're going to do. We'll attach you to the wire, and me too. We're going to both have our wires. And we're just going to get off the ground a little bit, and we'll just get comfortable with that. But what he was doing was getting me used to how it went, how it felt. And I began to relax. And of course, they would raise it just a little bit at a time. So I didn't realize that I was pretty high up, but I also felt secure.
Did you have a sense at this age what a huge film this was? You know, this is one of the very few Disney films that have all 9 of Walt's
Yes,
so-called
I
9
know.
old men as
I
supervising
know.
animators. Did that occur to you at that age, or is that something that came years later?
I probably didn't have the realization at that age. I was just so excited to be a part of this. And I knew Walt Disney from England and from seeing his early animation features. And to me, he was just this wonderful artist. So when I met him, I was totally in awe of him. And it was a new experience for me, really, to be acting with others, the adults who were well known. And it was just, the whole thing was an exciting experience. Later on, when Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland were re-released in the theater, and they were well received each time, I began to realize, my goodness, this has a life. It's going through the generations. And then I really felt blessed that I was part of that and can still be a part of what takes place now with all the new innovations.
You talked about being in awe of Walt Disney coming into your Disney work.
Yeah.
What do you remember about him once you did meet him and once you were working with him and with his studio?
That he was very comfortable to be around, that he was visible.
Did that surprise you that he was around so much?
Yes, because my only other experience was at another studio, which probably represented what went on, and I took it for granted, well, this is how it all is. And the head of the studio was really the business end of it, and so they weren't really as involved with all the machinations of the work that went on. So you didn't see the head very often. With Walt, you'd see him almost daily. You'd see him walking in the halls, or you would see him go down to the cafeteria when we all would get together at lunchtime. He would get his tray and walk through the line with everybody, find a place to sit, just as, well, the whole concept was there wasn't a leader of the studio, we were all on a team together. And that was his philosophy, and it was just a totally different atmosphere.
Yeah. I have to ask you a little bit about your teaching career. When you finished your filmmaking career, you went back to USC and then you became an elementary school teacher
Right,
for many years.
I did.
Did your students have a sense of who their teacher was?
Well, actually, you know, word got around and they had an awareness. And they never really, you know, they didn't discuss anything. It was just, this was my teacher. But when the film would be re-released and it was in the theater, there'd be sort of a flurry of excitement. And that would last for 2 or 3 days, and then it was back to, oh, that's my teacher.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
We're all ready for you now in the vault, so you can follow me. I think you're going to love it.
Fantastic. Can't wait. Let's go.
So this is one of our Disney vaults. It's very cold in here. It's climate control.
Wow, it is.
Up here you'll see some concept art for Wendy. She really changed a lot over the years. Here she's a brunette. And there's a concept piece by Mary Blair, who worked a lot on this film. And then this drawing is by David Hall. He presented a very Victorian set. We have animation drawings of your character. Aren't they beautiful?
They're just beautiful drawings.
This one by Hal Ambro and this one by Harvey Toombs. What a beautiful face on that animation drawing, no? And of course the characters had to live someplace, so They lived in on the background.
Beautiful background.
And here's one with all of the cells, which of course started out as animation drawings, put on top of a background. And of course, here's another Mary Blair, because Mary Blair's art is so recognizable on this.
Instantly
it
recognizable.
sure is.
Well, I can't thank you enough for having us in here. This has been so great, and Kathryn, it's always so great to see you. I know you're very busy. We want to let you get back on with your day. If you can just hatch if you're ready to go, and then if you can just point us the way out, that'd be great.
Oh, getting out is easy. Tinkerbell, little help.
Here we go again.